What a lovely car.
Thank you very much. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Max.
Nice to meet you. I'm Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Nice to meet you.
Can you tell me something about it?
Absolutely. I tell you what, hop in.
Awesome.
Come round.
Thank you.
So, this is Nellie.
Nelly?
Yes.
Why Nelly? Tell me something about it.
Well, so cold because when I was younger, when we got her, she came over from India in the early 90s. And I was probably about 4 at the time. And she was big and grey and came from India. So there is a great song in England called Nellie the Elephant, which is a bit like a nursery rhyme.
Right.
So Nellie the Elephant. And she's even got a cushion with Nellie written on it.
Oh my God, that's pretty. Into the details.
Into the details.
Into
Exactly.
the details. Very important.
Every little
Always
detail.
into little detail. I see even a clock over there.
Absolutely. Do you want to have a look at it?
Absolutely.
You just pull off the silver disc and then you can take the watch out. That's it. And then the watch just pulls out itself.
That's lovely.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Wow.
It is.
It's actually largely quite big.
It's a big and it's
a large
pocket
watch.
It's huge, isn't it? And look at how similar the train tracks are.
Almost.
How
And even got 8
amazing.
days of power reserve.
Absolutely.
That's a pretty good
It's
little
incredible.
detail. Can you open it as well?
Go for it. Yeah, please do.
Because now, I wish it's
Isn't it?
big as well.
And it's the same age as her, so 1912. Or-
So there's a lot of craftsmanship involved, even in the smallest details. So not only in the car, but even in the watches. And in
Absolutely.
watches.
And you know what? Perfectionism. So Henry Rolls was absolutely a perfectionist. And he said, if something doesn't exist, make it. And if it does, make it better. So literally every detail in all of the Rolls-Royce cars are so beautifully made, exquisitely made, and with such attention to detail.
And I see here like a lot of details like wood, leatherworking, of course, you know, the plating of the metals and stuff,
Yeah.
all combined together. So the engineering is one thing, but then design plays also a big part.
Yeah, absolutely. Materials. And really quality materials.
You're driving it yourself.
Yeah, I do indeed, yeah.
Have you been traveling with it as well?
Oh gosh, we've done about 75,000 miles in her over the years.
75,000 miles.
Yeah.
We also of course, we use a lot of oils and greases. Just not the amount of oils that goes into the car. And we were talking about very small amounts of oil, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're crucial.
So you lubricate your watch as I would lubricate the car? Is that right?
Kind of way. Probably more on a minuscule scale,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
it's the same.
And do you have different oils for different...
We do different oils and greases.
Oh, amazing.
So depending on the watch, depending on the complexity of the watch, how many parts inside,
Yeah.
of course also determines how many points of oil grease
And so
applied to it.
is the oil different thickness? Because for example for Nelly, there's engine oil and there's the gear oil, and depending on the thickness.
Yes, so
Wow.
we'd say like where there's a lot of force applied to
Yeah.
one part,
Okay.
it's more likely to have a thicker oil or a grease. Where there's like the very delicate parts where they have to be smooth and almost no resistance, that's why we apply like a very thin oil. So hopefully you can maybe show me also a little bit about the engine part. But what
Do you want to see the engine?
absolutely, what is the technical part inside this car?
Let me show you. Lovely, yeah. So I will show you inside. So this is mainly the fun side of the engine. So when she's running,
Yeah.
you can see where everything works.
Oh
But
my
there we
God.
go. Main bits that I kind of have to maintain and look after are all down here, which when she's running, those are the springs that pop up and down.
Yeah.
And here we've got a little oil can. So I'm sure it's very similar with the
They
watches.
probably need a lot more lubrication than our watches, I
I
guess. So
absolutely believe so, yes. So I mean, little things like this cap, put a bit of oil
Yeah.
in there just to get some going around the engine. And then each of those springs will each get a little blob of oil just to, again, just
how
keep
often have you
everything
do the
moving.
maintenance?
You either have to do it every it depends how much you use it. So normally about sort of every 1,000 miles, we'll do something like that. It's a piece of art. You could see that in a gallery.
Handmade as well, I guess, back in the days.
Yeah. Well, assembled by hand, yeah, absolutely.
So, but this is like a larger scale of engineering, mechanics,
Yeah.
design. Maybe I can invite you to our stand and show you a little bit about the engineering in our watches on a smaller scale.
Love to.
Would that be good?
Yes, please.
Right, let's do
Yeah,
that.
let's go.
So Katie, let me show you something about our mechanics.
Okay.
On a very small scale in this case.
Oh my goodness.
So this is basically a so-called chronograph.
Okay.
Belongs to an 1815 chrono. And this watch, we have to build it. You know, many people are involved making these watches.
Okay.
Where we do the lubrication, and inside is this really, really, really small bottle of oil. And what we do,
And that's what
it's
you
like almost
do.
like a needle, isn't it?
You can't even see that. Oh my
No,
God.
no, no. And on the tip of it, there's a small bit of oil, and we place it on the places inside the watch where it actually needs lubrication. And that is actually, we have to be very careful with that as well, not damaging anything. But the oil is important, because you can imagine that these watches, they run 24/7.
Yeah.
Your car, you
Yeah.
probably drive maybe 1 hour a day,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
not even.
Sometimes, yeah.
But the watch actually runs 24/7
All the time.
if we wear it,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
So, and on such small, minuscule parts, it also has wear and tear, of course.
Yeah.
So it needs oil. It's a
Yeah.
very crucial part. Without oil, the watch wouldn't work.
Yeah. All of that, like this chain links is exactly the same, but just tiny. Like this is tiny.
This is actually
is tiny.
hand-assembled chain. It's
I
like
don't wanna touch it.
636 individual parts inside. It can hold up to 2 kilograms of weight. If you put a weight in it,
It's
it's
that
2 kilograms.
That's incredible.
But it's 10 times more that it has to stand.
And you can't even see the links. I mean, it's just tiny. Yeah, it's just on a minute scale. Every part of it, it works
part of it.
in a very similar way, but just
And also the finishing between a more, let's say, entry-level watch and a complication. The finishing is always
Yeah.
the same.
yeah.
So we put a lot of detail to that. And
And
then,
then look, yeah, the finished
when the
product.
movement is finished, eventually it gets into one of these pieces. This is the datograph up and down. So you can see here the big date.
Mm-hmm.
You have your minutes, your hours, seconds, and your minute counter hand. And then down here your power reserve.
Whoa.
And on the back,
Look at the back. And is that what this one is? Is it the same?
it's the same movement. Yeah.
Wow. That is incredible. It's so beautiful. And like the back of the watch you very rarely see. But
Yeah.
like with the
you can have a look at
card,
it yourself if you like.
all of the little bits, every bit, no matter how big or small or visible or not visible, it's just exquisite.
Many people think that we just, we build up the parts, lubricate it, and then off you go. But we have to do many adjustments inside. So, estimating the force of each spring and lever, the engagement of the gears, the height.
And I'm telling you, something this beautiful can only be made by people with such true love and true passion for what they're doing. And I
think it's the same with cars as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Is that not what
Absolutely.
like a lot of the collectors think? It's one, of course, the product or the car or the watch, but it's also the people behind it, who
Yeah.
made it, who designed it.
Yes.
The engineering part.
Absolutely. And one car is never enough. You have to obviously have more.
Same with watches.
That's wonderful.
Awesome. I like it. Well, let's put it on the side. That's cool.
Thank you.
So I was happy to have you here.
Very kind of you. Thank you very much.